is paying attention. The international media, international human rights organizations are talking about it. India has come under criticism, which is unprecedented. It's like never before. But we also see that the governments, particularly the Western governments, not just Western governments, but also our so-called Muslim brothers, the Middle Eastern states, nobody is speaking up. No government.
To talk to you. Kashmir is an issue which has been at the heart of not only the partition itself, but also in terms of how we see this issue has affected the daily lives of people, not only in India and Pakistan, but also most particularly in Kashmir. But once we commemorate the Kashmiri Women's Resistance Day, it is extremely important for us to understand why this day is important. Number two, what is the role of the Kashmiri women in the resistance? And number three, but most importantly, what is the current bearing of the Kashmir dispute after the Citizen Amendment Act, as well as what happened on 5th of August 2019? Why do we think it's important, and why do we think that it is extremely important that women of Pakistan and women of Kashmir's voice is heard on this very important issue? I'm sure you all must be knowing about the resistance movement, but one of the major reasons why we celebrate this day is to mark the atrocities which happened in 1991. The atrocities were that in some of the villages of Jammu and Kashmir, all the men were taken and they were raped throughout the night. And while the men were raped, women from ages of 8 to 80 were picked up from their houses and then raped mercilessly. So once the men came back, they found out that the women and their elderly had been raped. Once this had happened, this great crime against humanity had happened, people thought that it is something which the Indian Army had done. Not on one day, not on 2 days. This was an occurrence which happened for this entire week. It is only in 2004, this event happened in 1991, in the first Kashmiri Intifada. The second event which happened was the Kashmiri women who brought this atrocity to the world, and the full specter of this atrocity. So in 2014, they went to the Indian Supreme Court and they filed a case against the military, which was found to be in control and found to be doing all of this. So while we celebrate, we commemorate, we raise our voice with the women of Kashmir, it is extremely important to understand the horror when from an 8-year-old child to an 80-year-old woman suffered this. The role of the Kashmiri women has been perhaps the backbone of the new Kashmiri Intifada, which started in 1991. So what have they done? They're responsible for 5 major associations, which has now become the face of the Kashmiri resistance. One is the Association of Parents of Disappeared Personnel or Persons. They registered that more than in just from 1991 till 2000, they said that almost 8 to 10,000 people and children had disappeared. According to the latest curfew, which has happened now, it's almost 200 days plus, it is argued that more than 40,000 children from the ages of 8 to 17 have been picked up from their homes. And this documentation, this work behind scenes has been done by them. Secondly, while this curfew is perhaps the most scary for us, in 1991, for 190 days, a curfew was put in place. And then in 2008, 2009, 2011, 2012, where for 4 months curfew was done. Second association, which has worked a lot, has been the association which has managed to not only unearth mass graves. It is believed that now more than 6,000, and according to some statistics and according to others, 600 massive graves have been found. But the statistics indicate that actually the mass graves are more than 6,000 plus. The first mapping of these mass graves of 1,000 personnel was also done by a women's association which worked on the Kashmiri resistance. Third is the civil society's movement of the Kashmiris. Kashmiri women, which continued with the supply lines during these curfews. The reason I mentioned the curfews is that the supply lines was managed by these women in Kashmir. So once there is a curfew, the supply routes and everything has been done by the women. The role they are playing is much stronger and much deeper than most people realize. Then they also have a resistance movement known as the Kashmiri movement for disarmament. And this is a movement for security and disarmament. This is a movement which seeks to disarm the excessive amount of armament which is found. At this moment, it is believed that more than 1 million Indian troops and paramilitary forces are available in the valley. So, this is by and large short and long story. But while the Kashmiri women have been the backbone of the Kashmiri Intifada since 1991, they are the ones who have suffered incessively violence, loss of their children, rape as a war crime, and then most importantly, they are the ones which are keeping this resistance going on. So we have got some of the people I'm sure you are familiar with, are Asya Andrabi and Dr. Kashmir, but we also have other Kashmiri civil society movements which are all consisting of women. So the entire political civil phase, we can say, rests strongly and squarely with the women who are taking this. One important work which these women did was also to continue the education while these curfews were in place. But today we are not here to mark the curfew itself. We are here to talk exactly what has happened on 5th of August 2019 and what has changed. Once the partition happened, I am just going to flag it just for everybody's memory. On 5th of August 2019, India has annexed Kashmir illegally. Now, why I say that is not because of what happened in 1947. As you all know, the partition plan was based on one simple principle. Muslim majority areas will go to Pakistan, Hindu majority areas will come to India, and it will be done through a political dispensation in terms of how the political parties will vote, how the election processes will happen. And then there was the issue of the 562 princely states. The 562 princely states were going to have a three-step process. The first process was they will sign an instrument of accession, which will be given by the executive. The second was that the Constituent Assembly, or in that case, if there is no Constituent Assembly, the people's will be ascertained, either through a jirga or whatever relevant mechanism is there. Once that is done, the third thing will happen is that they will sign a merger document. In the case of the rest of the 561 states, this happened, lest Kashmir. So what happened in Kashmir? In Kashmir, the Maharaja signed a standstill agreement with Pakistan. So from 1947 till 1948, we have a standstill agreement. But once the people recognize that they are not signing the agreement, there is a revolt. That revolt is supported by Pakistani tribesmen and then ultimately by the Pakistani armed forces. The result was what? The result was that Kashmir got divided. Half of what we call is Azad Kashmir and the other one is Indian Administrative Kashmir. And the Maharaja had escaped to the south of India. India very quickly sent its troops and said that the Maharaja had conceded. We do not believe that he had signed the instrument of accession, but nonetheless the Indian claims, and there it was. So while this was going on, India went to the UN Security Council. So when they went to the UN Security Council, there were two issues. One, there was a revolt. So the instrument of accession was lagging the legal reality it so desperately wanted. So the next step, what the Indians did is that from the presidential order, they came up in 1949, they set up the Constituent Assembly in Jammu and Kashmir. And they said that the Constituent Assembly has codified the instrument of accession and the four principles of the instrument of accession, which were, and I repeat, that the external affairs, defense, and communications will be given to India or to the relevant state, and the internal affairs will be maintained. Since Kashmir was a protectorate in two separate states, this basically meant that Kashmiris would have a special status that was defined in the permanent residency. Now, the permanent residency said that you could not buy land in Kashmir. Kashmir would have its own constitution. Kashmir would have its own flag. Financial affairs of Kashmir will be maintained by the people of Kashmir and the state of Kashmir. All well and good. Once they go to the UN Security Council came up with the famous UN Security Council resolutions, which we continue to refer, for self-determination. They said that the Constituent Assembly's decision to be with India cannot be seen as absolute. It can be at best seen transitional in nature. Why? Because there is another Constituent Assembly which exists in Pakistan. And since it exists, it does not cover the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir, and the right of people of Kashmir can only be ascertained through a free and fair plebiscite. And the right of self-determination will be established. The reason I have mentioned this is that on 5th of August 2019, India has passed what is known as the Reorganizational Act, or Reorganizational Act for Jammu and Kashmir. So what have they taken away from that? What they have taken away from that is Kashmiriyat. What they have said that now no future Indian citizen, no future Kashmiri citizen can live in Kashmir. So this means that all future will belong now of Kashmiris will be replaced by Indian citizens. So in future, only Indian citizens can be in Kashmir. This means people who have permanent residency cannot automatically convert into Indian citizens, but they will have to apply for Indian citizenship. According to earlier laws, it was considered that they will have dual citizenship. But after the Reorganization Act, it is not automatically transferable. They will have to apply for this citizenship. Now, according to the Citizen Amendment Act, which you're all familiar with, and there are lots of rights going on, what are the conditions to be an Indian citizen? The conditions are, number one, that you have to have 5 years before 1948, 5 years prior to 1948, land documentation. So this means you should at least have land documentation of 1942 or 1943. Number two, you must have registered yourself in the National Register for Citizens in the first 6 months of partition. Number three, if you have none of these two conditions, one of your parents or your grandparents must have been born in the Indian territory or the British territory, which leaves out the protectorate. So this means the Kashmiri state, Junagadh, Hyderabad, these people would not automatically be conferred Indian citizenship, but they will have to be seen as outsiders. And last but not least, they have said that you must have 12 years of documentation. That means either a land tenancy agreement, office rent, educational certificate, and if you don't have 12 years of any of these certifications, you will not be eligible to have Indian citizenship. Now, why is it important? It is important because they're saying that if you don't have Indian citizenship, we will send you to the detention centers. In Assam, 1.2 million people have been sent to the detention centers. And in Kashmir, they believe that there will be a majority which will be sent to the detention centers. And then these detention centers will describe who will be then further seen, who will be sent their cases to the foreign tribunals. And then foreign tribunals will tell whether they're Pakistanis, Afghans, Bangladeshis, or who they are. And according to that, they will be sent or repatriated to these countries. So what India has done on 5th of August is that they have taken Kashmiris away from Kashmir. Now Kashmir belongs to Indian citizens. And if it belongs to Indian citizens, what happens to these people? They have been made stateless because the new Reorganization Act puts severe conditions. One, they cannot access health, education, political parties, schools, any of this. Number two, their cases of human rights will not be any longer will be taken by them. So these cases now will be further taken and can only be represented by Kashmiri Council for 1 year. So if there is no Kashmiri Council for 1 year, after that they must find an Indian lawyer. So what we are technically looking at is not that you're having a Kashmiri situation which is just facing a curfew, but what we are looking at is altogether a paradigm shift. And in this paradigm, the most important role will be the role of women, which in the first curfew, in the second curfew, and also in the other time, not only documented these cases of atrocities, but also raised the most significant voice in the civil society of not only Kashmir, India, but also globally. They are the first ones The Kashmiri resistance movement of the women were the first ones who managed to get declaration of rape as a war crime in Jammu and Kashmir. So while we talk about women, we talk about Kashmir, we need to understand that the role of Kashmiri women as women of strength and the backbone of the resistance and the backbone of the future of Kashmir will not go through anybody else, but women like me and you, and women like those who raise the unvoiced in Kashmir. There's a publication which has been put in front of all of you that basically is talking about Kashmir being buried alive. So they have buried 9 million people through one legislative act. I'll just conclude on this that unfortunately this is not being done by a disaster, by a war. This has been done through legislation. Legislation of the two houses of the Indian Parliament, which have legally taken action to disempower people. And disempower people permanently. So it's not a question that will go away with the curfew. It's not a question that will go away with the violence being subsided. It is a question in which state tyranny has manifested itself into legal action. And only through taking this corrective action, which we all require at this moment, and raising this, it can be undone. So I'm very pleased to see that our Ministry for Information and Broadcasting has made this tremendous effort, and for the female audience, and most importantly, my co-panelists, who are all women, to take this voice forward, because now the future and documenting this reign of terror is left on the feeble shoulders of the women of Kashmir. I urge all of you to please understand that the atrocity what happened in 1991 is unthinkable. It is unthinkable to think from an 8-year-old child to an 80-year-old woman to a pregnant woman to people who are dumb and deaf have seen this amount of torture. And not only have this torture, but then to have this resistance to go up and face your perpetrators and then take them to court. It took them more than a decade to do so, from 2004, but they did it. They did it, they documented it, they have unearthed more than 1,000 plus mass graves in Jammu and Kashmir, and that is what shows the caliber of the Kashmiri women. Last point is this, that while the Kashmiri women have not been the active part in the armed struggle as militants in, say, the Palestinian movement or in other parts of the world, they have been the soft, the hard, and the most important, the resilient part of the Kashmiri movement. So let's join hands in raising our voice and commemorating the Kashmiri Women's Resistance Day, because this is not an ordinary day. This is the day of those silent mothers, daughters, wives who have stood behind their men, behind their children, who have been abducted on a daily basis. A home is supposed to be safe, and a war zone is supposed to be far. Now the war of Kashmir is in people's homes, and that is where the fight, the resilience, is being shown by the women of Kashmir. I thank you all for your patience.
Thank you, Dr. Maria Sultan, for giving a factual and historical.
Their mixed views. Minister Saiba, distinguished panelists, मेरी बहुत ही प्यारी बहनों, such a pleasure to be with you, but it's also very sad that we are here together to commemorate the pain of our sisters who are suffering but are valiant. Today, I'm not going to talk much on politics as much as on the human element and the human suffering and how brave these women are and how they have voiced their pain despite the trying times So I'm grateful to Ministry of Information and all of you for your presence here to show solidarity, because it's not about words and it's not about politics. It's about human pain and suffering. And the courage that the Kashmiri women have demonstrated is unprecedented. They have stood upright with men in every phase of the struggle. Not only the struggle as far as the military aspect or fighting is concerned, but emotional. The sacrifice has many dimensions. And this painting that I did is called Silent Screams, because there's screams when raped, there's screams when pained, there's screams when they saw the dead bodies of their sons, their brothers, their husbands, their fathers, are not heard. And that is the pain that we share, and we need to support, and we have to highlight. And that was my purpose of being here, that despite the horrific atrocities committed by the occupying forces, these women have led the struggle for justice against the extrajudicial killings, against disappearances. They use hard power, but they also use soft power. Recently, I was in Edinburgh to participate in a conference on women in conflict, advocacy through art. And I met a few Kashmiri women there, Kashmiri women from the occupied Kashmir. And the stories they told me of the horrific situation they are suffering were heart-wrenching. And I was happy that they were there and they could speak about it, that after 5th August, how they were surviving. The injured, the dying, had no access to medical facilities. They were just locked in. They didn't have food because there was a lock-in. There were malnutrition, there was suffering, there was death. And most of all, when they came to this conference, and I said, why don't you speak up? They said that if we do, we don't know if we'll reach our homes. And even if we reach our homes, we don't know if the home will be there, whether our families will still be alive, because we have taken the courage to speak here. So you can't really imagine how painful that situation can be. I am a retired diplomat. I pretend to be an artist. But through my art, I speak. And if you can see this painting, Mariam, there's another painting also. This is called the ethnic genocide. It's about the 1991 gang rapes, rape being used as instrument of war. And you can see I've depicted the pod, which is woman, and you can see the blood, which I as an artist tried to show for the rape, and the little red spots here and there are those children born out of this situation. And yet, these women stand up, and yet, these women speak up. And we, as women, need to stand with them. Alhamdulillah, Pakistan is fully committed and is speaking up and is giving diplomatic, moral, and political support to Kashmiris. I'm confident, inshallah, that they will achieve their targets. But your presence here and the media here is important because each one of us has that responsibility. It's not just about governments, it's about people and it's about hearts. Thank you so much.
More than 10,000 women are being raped by Indian army. More than 10,000 women.
बच्चे हिंदुस्तान के कुंवारे हैं उनको भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट देना चाहिए ताकि उनकी जरूरत कश्मीर के अंदर हो facing Britain and forces of India, 10 lakh British forces are here. The whole Kashmir has engaged in the garrison of the army. You cannot differentiate whether this is sea or this is town or what it is. Everywhere you see the army, BSF, CRPF, Jammu Kashmir armed police with guns, with these lathis.
कर रही हैं वो थोड़ा सा शेयर होना चाहिए. How do I share this?
Just bring it down.
Yeah. It will start playing. بہت کچھ ہوتا رہا ہے، یہ ہماری وجہ سے نہیں ہوا ہے، اور نہ ہی ہندوستان کے مسلمان کشمیریوں کا ساتھ دیتے تھے. ابھی ریسنٹلی جب ان کی ریلیز میں کشمیریوں نے آنے کی کوشش کی تھی تو اسد الدین اویسی نے پاکستان کے خلاف نعرے لگوائے تھے. کشمیریوں کو وہاں پر کھڑا نہیں ہونے دیا جاتا. سو میں یہ چاہتی ہوں کہ آپ لوگ یہ یاد رکھیں کہ ہم جو ہیں ہمارا ساتھ نہیں دیا گیا ابھی تک ہندوستان کے مسلمانوں نے. پاکستان ہمارے ساتھ کھڑا رہا. پاکستان کے چاہے مسلمان ہیں، ابھی میں کل پرسوں جو ہے کرتارپور گئی ہوئی تھی، کوئی بھی مذہبی جو حصہ ہے یہاں پر وہ سب جو ہے ہمارے ساتھ ہیں اور ہمارا ساتھ دیتے رہے ہیں. کشمیری خواتین کی جو ہمت ہے، جو ان کی داستانیں ہیں، اس کو پوری دنیا جو ہے وہ مانتی ہے. وہ کیسے؟ کیونکہ ایک عدد خاتون ہیں جن کا نام ہے پروینہ آہنگر. ان کو رافٹ آف پیس پرائز ملا ہوا ہے. ایک شخص ہیں ہمارے پرویز امروز، ان کو بھی رافٹ آف پیس پرائز ملا ہے. یہ پرائز جو ہے یہ ناروے میں دیا جاتا ہے اینڈ اٹ از ایکویولنٹ ٹو دا نوبل پیس پرائز. کیا کیا ہے ان لوگوں نے؟ انہوں نے ڈس اپیئرنسز پر کام کیا ہے. پروینہ آہنگر کا اپنا جو بیٹا تھا، ہی واز اے اسپیشل چائلڈ، 100% نارمل وہ نہیں تھا. اس کو اٹھا لیا گیا تھا اور وہ ان کو کبھی نہیں ملا، اور وہ آج تک نہ صرف اس کو ڈھونڈتی ہیں، وہ دوسروں کے بچوں کو بھی ڈھونڈتی ہیں. وہ آج تک سب کو ڈھونڈ رہی ہے. اسی طرح کے اور بھی لوگ ہیں جنہوں نے وہاں پر جو JNK کی جو کورٹس ہیں وہاں پر کیسز جو ہیں رجسٹر کروائے ہیں. اس میں کنن پوشپور بھی ہے اور بہت کچھ ہوا ہوا ہے. اس کی انہوں نے ایک کتاب بنائی ہے جس کا نام ہے اسٹرکچرز آف وائلنس. اس میں انہوں نے لمبی چوڑی کوئی کہانی نہیں لکھی ہے. اس میں لکھا ہوا ہے کیس نمبر، ٹائم آف دا کرائم، پرپیٹریٹر، وکٹم. یہ کتاب جو ہے یہ ساری پرویز امروز صاحب کی محنت سے بنی اور پھر پریزنٹ کی گئی جنیوا میں، UNHCR میں، یورپین پارلیمنٹ میں، جو بھی اہم جگہ ہیں وہاں پر پریزنٹ کی گئی. یورپین پارلیمنٹ میں میس گریوز پر تو بات ہوئی ہے، لیکن اس کے علاوہ ڈاکیومنٹڈ فیکٹس جو کہ پریزنٹ کیے گئے ہیں کشمیریوں نے خود. ہم ابھی پاکستان اور اس نے کیا کیا اس پر تو آیا ہی نہیں. جو ہم نے خود ادھر پریزنٹ کیے ہیں اور کروائے ہیں اس پر دنیا نے کچھ بھی نہیں کیا. اس سے صاف پتہ چلتا ہے کہ فی الحال وہ جو ملک ہیں جو کہ ڈیموکریسی جو ہے سکھاتے ہیں ساری دنیا کو، جنہوں نے ہیومن رائٹس کا لفظ ہمیں سکھایا ہے، ان کو کم از کم کشمیری ہیومن رائٹس سے کوئی تعلق نہیں ہے اور نہ ہی وہ چاہتے ہیں کہ اس میں کوئی مثبت تبدیلی آئے. ہماری 18 ماہ کی بچی تک کو پیلٹ گن جو ہے وہ لگی ہیں، بچے ہمارے اندھے ہو رہے ہیں. کشمیر کا جو ظلم ہے نا وہ اس کو پلیز جینڈر میں نہ روکیں. ہمارا مرد بھی مرتا ہے، ہماری عورت بھی مرتی ہے. عورت کے ساتھ جو زیادہ ظلم ہوتا ہے وہ یہ ہے کہ ان اینی وار اور کانفلکٹ دیٹ از گوئنگ آن، you know, they will kill a man and they will rape a woman again and again. مرد ایک دفعہ مرتا ہے وار میں، عورت بار 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 مرتی ہے. She is used as an instrument. اور ابھی تک اس کا کوئی حال یا اثر یا آسرا نہیں ہے. عراق میں جو یزیدی خواتین پر ظلم ہوا اس پر کام کیا گیا, اس کو ریکگنیشن ملا, اور اس کے بعد جس ایک عورت نے آواز اٹھائی اور اس کا پھر دوسروں نے ساتھ دیا, اس کو نوبل پیس پرائز ملا. ایسا ہمارے ساتھ نہیں ہوا. We have not been able to represent the true cause and the true facts in the right manner. کشمیر جو ہے ایک پولیٹیکل ایشو بھی ہے اور ایک لیگل ایشو بھی ہے. لیکن جب ہم کہتے ہیں کہ جی لیگل ایشو ہے تو جیسے تسنیم صاحبہ نے کہا, ہم ICJ والی بات نہیں کرتے. بٹ جو بھی ہیومن رائٹس ابیوزز ہوتی ہیں, جیسے کہ مودی نے جو ظلم کیا تھا گجرات میں, تو کیس اس کا امریکہ میں چلا تھا. جب تک کہ وہ وزیر اعظم نہیں بنا تھا اس کو امریکہ کا ویزا نہیں ملتا تھا, اس کو امریکہ جانے کی, انٹر ہونے کی اجازت نہیں تھی. ایسے کوئی کیسز جو ہیں کشمیر میں جن لوگوں نے ظلم کیے ہیں ان پر پاکستان سے باہر, ہندوستان سے باہر کسی بھی ملک میں ایسے کوئی کیسز نہیں کیے گئے. میں یہ سب کچھ کیوں بتا رہی ہوں؟ میں یہ صرف اس لیے بتا رہی ہوں کہ آج جب ہم ظلم اور ستم کو یاد کر رہے ہیں تو کیوں نہ ہم یہ مان لیں کہ غلطیاں ہم سے ہوئی ہیں, اور کیوں نہ آج ہم یہ اعادہ کریں کہ جو غلطیاں ہوئی ہیں ان کو درست کیا جا سکتا ہے. دیکھیں, ہم کشمیریوں کے پاس تو چوائس نہیں ہے. اگر آسان ہوتا, اگر ہم رہ سکتے ہوتے تو یقین جانیے کشمیر ہندوستان کے ساتھ رہ لیتے. ناممکن ہے, زندگی عذاب ہے. ہندوستان کے ساتھ رہنا کشمیریوں کے لیے چوائس نہیں ہے, چاہے ہندوستان کچھ بھی کر لے, ممکن ہی نہیں ہے. جس بچے نے پلوامہ کا اٹیک کیا تھا اس کو پاکستان نے نہیں سکھایا تھا, وہ وہی کشمیر میں پلا بڑھا تھا اور ہندوستان کے ایجوکیشنل انسٹیٹیوشنز میں اس نے تعلیم حاصل کی تھی. برہان وانی ان پڑھ بچہ نہیں تھا. ہمارے وہاں کے بچے PhDs کر رہے ہیں, وہ بھی ریزسٹنس میں آ رہے ہیں. کیوں؟ کیونکہ وہ جو روز کی ذلت ہندوستان کی آرمی کرتی ہے ان کے ساتھ, جو ان کی چیکنگ ہوتی ہے, جو ان کی ناک سے لکیریں بنواتی ہے, جو ان کو اپنی گاڑیوں کے آگے باندھتی ہے تاکہ کشمیری جو ہے وہ جو پتھر ہے وہ بھی نہ مار سکے کیونکہ آگے انہوں نے ایک کشمیری باندھا ہوا ہے. یہ ساری چیزیں جو ہیں مل ملا کر نوجوانوں کو جو ہے ابھارتی ہیں, ان کو جوش دلاتی ہیں کہ ذلت کی زندگی سے عزت کی موت بہتر ہے. The indigenousness of the Kashmir resistance cannot be highlighted enough. ہمیں دوسرے لوگوں کی جو ہے مدد اس چیز میں نہیں چاہیے کہ جی آپ جو ہے ہمیں جوش دلائیں گے تو ہم جا کر لڑیں گے. نہیں جی, اتنا ظلم اور ستم ہو رہا ہے کہ ہمیں جوش کی ضرورت نہیں ہے. ہاں, لیکن ہمیں ہوش کی ضرورت ہے. ہمارے لوگ وہاں پر اذیت میں ہیں. 5 اگست سے لے کر آج تک کوئی بہتری نہیں آئی. باتوں سے صرف باتیں ہی بنتی ہیں. باتوں سے معاملات حل کرنے کے لیے اس میں بہت سارے عمل بھی کرنے پڑتے ہیں. چاہے UN کے سیکرٹری جنرل ہو, اس نے بھی بات کی, مختلف ممالک کے ایوانوں میں بات ہوئی. بات اب سب کر رہے ہیں کیونکہ مقبوضہ کشمیر کے جو لوگ ہیں سوشل میڈیا استعمال کر کے اب دنیا تک پہنچ رہے ہیں. یہ پار کی بچیاں ہیں جنہوں نے یہ گانا گایا ہے, ریزسٹنس کا اینتھم بنایا ہے. تو وہ تو ڈائریکٹلی اب انفارمیشن جا رہی ہے کہ جی کیا ہو رہا ہے اور کیا نہیں ہو رہا. اب کچھ چھپا ہوا ڈھکا ہوا نہیں ہے. تو اس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ اب کے بعد جو روش ہے ہمیں بدلنی پڑے گی. کشمیری آپ سے یہ بھی نہیں کہتے ہیں کہ جی آپ اپنے ہتھیار اٹھائیں اور جی آئیں اور لڑیں. نہیں, بہت شکریہ, ہم یہ بھی کر رہے ہیں. ہم ہتھیاروں کے بغیر بھی مر رہے ہیں. ہم جب ہتھیار اٹھاتے ہیں ہم تب بھی مر رہے ہیں. جب یہ کہا جاتا ہے کہ جی ہاں کشمیریوں کو اور تکلیف اٹھانی پڑے گی تب جا کر آزاد ہوں گے, تو اس پر میں صرف اتنا کہتی ہوں کہ دیکھیے اگر تو ہم نے کام خود ہی کرنا ہے جو کہ ہم کر رہے ہیں تو پھر کیا آپ یہ نہیں سمجھتے کہ کشمیری کسی دن آپ سے پوچھیں گے کہ بھائی صاحب پھر آپ کیا کر رہے ہیں؟ یہ وہ وقت ہے کہ یو آر ود اس، یو آر اسٹینڈنگ ود اس ڈپلومیٹکلی، پولیٹیکلی. اس کو اور مضبوط کرنا ہوگا. اس دفعہ اس حکومت نے، اس میں میں پچھلی حکومتوں کو بھی کہوں گی کہ دیکھیے یو این میں جا کر سب لوگ کشمیر کے بارے میں بات کرتے ہیں، لیکن اس دفعہ وزیر اعظم صاحب نے بہت تگڑی بات کی. اور جب انہوں نے اتنی اچھی تقریر کی تھی تو میں آپ کو یہ بتانا چاہتی ہوں کہ پار مقبوضہ کشمیر میں 5 اگست کے بعد یہ ہوا ہے، لوگوں نے تب بھی خوشی منائی کہ کوئی ہے دیکھو ہمارے لیے جو بات کرتا ہے. آپ محبت کا عالم یہ دیکھیے کہ جہاں پر وہ باہر نہیں نکل سکتے، جہاں پر ان کو بالکل بند کیا ہوا ہے، انہوں نے تب بھی جس طرح سے بھی ممکن ہوا انہوں نے وہ تقریر سنی اور خوشی کا اظہار کیا کہ ہم لاوارث نہیں ہیں. یہ لگن اور محبت ہے کشمیریوں کی آپ سب کے ساتھ. اسی طرح جب پاکستان کے لیڈران جو ہیں وہ کہتے ہیں، کوئی بھی اچھی بات کہتے ہیں کہ جی ہم کشمیریوں کو اکیلا نہیں چھوڑیں گے، تو ہمیں جو ہے بڑی ہمت بھی ملتی ہے اور ہمیں امید بھی رہتی ہے کہ ہم اپنی اس جنگ میں اکیلے نہیں ہیں. لیکن جب ہندوستان کا جنرل کہتا ہے، جب ہندوستان کا وزیر اعظم کہتا ہے کہ ابھی تو ہم نے صرف یہ والا کشمیر لیا ہے، آگے آزاد جموں کشمیر بھی ہمارا ہے اور گلگت بلتستان بھی ہمارا ہے، تو پھر پاکستان نے کیا کرنا ہے؟ یہ سوچنا پڑے گا. اگر ہم یہ انتظار کر رہے ہیں کہ ہندوستان جو ہے آزاد جموں کشمیر پر اٹیک کرے گا، تو یہ جو کلسٹر بامز جو ایل او سی پر استعمال ہو رہے ہیں، یہ جو کشمیری ہمارے مر رہے ہیں، اس کو آپ کیا کہتے ہیں؟ آج میں نیشنل ڈیفنس یونیورسٹی میں تھی اور وہاں پر بھی کشمیر پر بات ہوئی اور وہاں پر کچھ بچوں نے کہا کہ جی یہ مطلب یعنی کہ پاکستان ڈٹ کے جواب کیوں نہیں دیتا ہے، وہ ہمارے اتنے مارتے ہیں ایل او سی پر، ہم کیوں نہیں مارتے؟ تو مجھے اسے یہ بتانا پڑا کہ بیٹا ہم ان کو روکتے ہیں، پاکستان کی فوج ہماری وجہ سے رکتی ہے کیونکہ پار بھی ہم ہی ہیں. ہندوستان کے لیے تو سارا کام بہت آسان ہے، وہ ادھر بھی ہمیں مارتا ہے، وہ ادھر بھی ہمیں مارتا ہے. پاکستان کا فوجی کیسے ہمیں مارے گا؟ کیونکہ وہ جو پار ہیں وہ ہمارے رشتہ دار ہی ہیں نا. ہم مل نہیں سکتے، اس کا مطلب یہ تو نہیں کہ ہمارا خون کا رشتہ نہیں ہے، اور اگر خون کا رشتہ نہ بھی ہو تو اس کا مطلب یہ نہیں ہے کہ وہ کشمیری نہیں ہے. تو بڑا سوچ سمجھ کر یہ فیصلے کرنے پڑتے ہیں. ہم یہ امید رکھتے ہیں کہ جو ڈپلومیٹک فرنٹ پر معاملات چلائے جا رہے ہیں ان کو اور بھی بہتر کیا جائے. کشمیر کو جس طرح سے یاد کیا جا رہا ہے، آپ سب کا بہت بہت شکریہ، اس کو ایسے ہی یاد کیا جائے. تسلیم صاحبہ نے بھی یہ بات کی، اینڈ آئی مسٹ ریٹریٹ کہ اگر منسٹر صاحبہ یہاں پر ہوتی تو بہتر ہوتا. آپ لوگ یہ دن کشمیریوں کے لیے رکھا ہے اور سیریسنس جو ہے اسی وقت ظاہر ہوتی ہے جب حکومتی نمائندے اگر وہ کہتے ہیں کہ وہ آ رہے ہیں تو وہ آ جایا کریں. میں امید رکھتی ہوں کہ آپ اسی طرح سے جو ہے اس طرح کی گفتگو رکھیں گے. آج کی اس محفل کی جو سب سے اچھی بات ہے وہ یہ ہے کہ خواتین ہیں یہاں پر بہت زیادہ تعداد میں، اور یہ ایک بہترین بات ہے. بالعموم جو دیکھا گیا ہے اس میں خواتین کی تعداد کم ہوتی ہے اور مردوں کی تعداد زیادہ ہوتی ہے. تو میں آپ سب کو جو ہے اس پر شکریہ بھی کہوں گی. میں امید رکھتی ہوں کہ یہ خبر جو ہے ہمارے پار کے لوگوں کو بھی جائے گی کہ نہ صرف یہاں کے سول سوسائٹی، بیوروکریسی، باقی سارے لوگ ہیں، بلکہ فیملی، سارا پاکستان جو ہے وہ ہمارے ساتھ کھڑا ہے اور وہ یقیناً جو ہے کشمیریوں کی پریشانی میں ان کے ساتھ پریشان ہے. اور اسی لیے اتنے ریگولر یہ ایونٹس ہو رہے ہیں، اتنی پروٹیسٹس ہو رہی ہیں یہاں پر. لیکن پھر بھی چاہے وہ میڈیا کی بات ہو، چاہے وہ کشمیر پر نیریٹو یا پرسیپشن کی بات ہو، اس سب پر ہمیں بہت محنت کرنے کی ضرورت ہے. इस सब को हमें बहुत बेहतर करने की ज़रूरत है। और अब जब कि आप जैसी ख़वातीन आगे आ रही हैं तो उम्मीद यही की जा सकती है और बरहक है कि उम्मीद ये की जाए कि ये काम बेहतर होगा। Men bring quantity, women bring quality, and that is our expectation from all of you, that the quality is enhanced and improved. So best of luck. We are here to assist you in any regard. और आप सबका शुक्रिया।
Thank you so much, Ms. Farzana Yaqub, for your heartwarming talk. And we obviously stand with the Kashmiri women and salute their resilience. Our next speaker is Ms. Aisha Mughal. Ms. Aisha is an activist, a qualified researcher, and trainer. Ms. Aisha is currently UNDP expert consultant to the Ministry of Human Rights, Government of Pakistan. She has been working for transgender empowerment, health, and their rights in Pakistan since 2015 and have achieved several milestones. Ms. Aisha has the honor of becoming Pakistan's first transgender lecturer and first transgender person to serve as consultant in any federal ministry of Pakistan. She has successfully broken the stereotype about transgender community. She has earned her MS and BBA degrees from Comsats University, Islamabad, and has taught at the Quaid-e-Azam University and Allama Iqbal University. I would like to welcome you, madam.
And the problems that the Kashmiri women are facing. And as a Pakistani child, I have always observed since my childhood, growing up, the strength, the determination, and resilience of our Kashmiri brothers and sisters. And as a transgender woman, because I represent the minority women of Pakistan, I can relate to the struggles of identity and recognition which Kashmiri brothers and sisters are facing. And I'm here today to stand in solidarity with our Kashmiri brothers and sisters. And right now, I'm very emotional after listening to Madam, and especially to hear and realize that what problems the Kashmiri people go through. Because normally, whatever we see in media and whatever we read is about the political instability and the political crisis at the political front. But when we understand and realize the human element, and I would again thank to the Ministry of Information for giving us this platform where we can at least imagine and put ourselves in their shoes. I know it's difficult because it's easy to say, but the people who go through these situations every day in their daily lives, for them it is, we can't even imagine how difficult it is. Whenever we see the protests and whenever we see the role of men in the entire process and struggles, we often do not realize the problems and struggles that women face, because a woman is a mother and she is the most influential and powerful element of a family, because the determination that we have seen from Kashmiri people, and right now we have also heard a song of resistance from the Kashmiri women. It also shows that women are the source of, you know, inspiration, and they are the source of power for everyone, especially the men who are fighting for so many years for their independence and for the recognition and identity. I'm talking about identity again and again because this is something very close to my heart. Because since the inception of Pakistan, the transgender community did not have the recognition and identity. The Transgender Act was passed in 2018, and very recently I was able to get my CNIC as a transgender woman with my true identity, with my true name. So I do understand and relate to the struggles of identity which the Kashmiri people are suffering from. A lot have been said about the problems and issues, but I'm here to speak about hope. Because hope is the best gift that we can give to anybody. Because hope never comes alone. Hope comes with courage. Since the inception of Pakistan for more than 65 years, the transgender community were not made part of the mainstream society. In 2018, the Transgender Act was passed and we got the right of identification. And currently I'm working with the Ministry of Human Rights, and my task is to ensure the effective implementation of the Act, because in our country many laws are made, but the issue is its implementation. And today I'm again really grateful to the Ministry of Information and the Press Information Department for inviting me and for making me part of this event, because this is what we need. We need to mainstream the transgender community, the minorities in our country. The problems that have been highlighted by the panelists, and we are all familiar with these issues. The problem that the Kashmiri women face: there's no freedom, there's freedom of choice, the freedom of mobility, violence. All these issues have also been faced by the transgender women in Pakistan. In less than 3 years, there have been 70 murders only in the KPK province. So, as a transgender person growing up, I have also witnessed this discrimination on the basis of gender, violence, and the issue of social acceptance, which is still prevalent till date. But I'm very hopeful because now we are moving in the right direction at least. We have started to realize the issues of human rights. And here I would also like to share one interesting thing, that the transgender community has always been very visible in Pakistan and India. We have this visible culture known as the Khwajasara culture and Hijra culture in India. But Pakistan has become an example for the world in terms of protecting and promoting transgender rights. We have made legislation which have made Pakistan one of the progressive countries in the world. The Ministry of Human Rights is working on its implementation. We have developed policies which are very progressive. Even the western part of the world are still behind us when it comes to transgender rights and empowerment. Even in India, they are unable to bring this Transgender Act and protect their transgender citizens. But Pakistan has set an example not only for India but for the rest of the world. And recently I was part of the government delegation in UN, Geneva, in the CEDAW committee. And CEDAW is basically about the committee, it's the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. Having said that, as a transgender woman, I am hopeful that the situation is changing and we are realizing the human rights issues. And I hope, as Madam Tasneem also mentioned, that we need to have the right strategies. The government have to make right decisions so that we can take our case in an international arena in a successful manner. And I think with all these things that we have seen today, I would pay my salutation to the courage and resistance to the women in Kashmir, especially because as a person who has faced discrimination, who has fought for the identity, I have this faith that Kashmiri people, their hard work and their resistance would pay off. And I would just like to end my speech with this prayer that may peace prevails in Kashmir and they get the right of identification. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Aisha Mughal, for sharing your thoughts and leaving a message of hope for the audience.
भारतीय फौज के जुल्म सितम वादी के बहादुर नौजवानों को न दबा सके और न दबा सकेंगे। आजादी के नारे कल भी बुलंद थे और आज भी इनकी गूंज पूरी शिद्दत से सुनाई देती है। मगर अफसोस, भारत कल ही सुनने से कासिर था और अब भी ताकत से एक तहरीक, आजादी की तहरीक, सदियों की आवाज, जुनून से लिखी फतह की कहानी सुनने और पढ़ने से बेगाना है। निहत्ते कश्मीरियों का जुनून तारीख के सफ़ों पर नक्श है और तारीख गवाह है कि जुनून की स्याही impact will have on people of Kashmir. What do you think they will think? The way they have been boxed in their houses, treated like worse than animals. No rights. Thousands of all their political leadership has been arrested, taken out of Kashmir. Even those Kashmiri leaders who were pro-India have been taken out. 13,000 boys have been picked up and taken to God knows which destination. So what do they think? What will the people of Kashmir do when they lift the curfew? They will be out in the street. And what will the soldiers do? They will shoot them. What is going to happen when the curfew is lifted will be a bloodbath. The people will come out. There are 900,000 troops there. They haven't come to, as Narendra Modi says, he's done this for the prosperity of Kashmir. This is supposed to be for the development. These 900,000 troops, what are they going to do when they come out? There'll be a bloodbath. Has he thought it through what happens then? So what do you think the Muslims are thinking right now? If there is a bloodbath, there will be Muslims becoming radicals, not because of Islam, but because of what they will see, that there's no justice when it comes to Muslims. And I've come here to tell the UN, you've got to, this is a test for the United Nations. You are the one who guarantees the people of Kashmir the right of self-determination. They are suffering because of that. And this is the time. This is the time not to appease like the 1939 appeasement took place. This is the time to take action. And number one action must be that India must lift this inhuman curfew, which has lasted for 55 days. और भारत के जुल्म और सितमों पर बरयत का नोटिस है और इस मसले के लिए अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा में मौजूद 11 करारदादों का अमल कराने